What up, world? This man Dream with Dream Motivates. Guess what, guys? I have the honor and privilege to bring something very special to you. Right here today, you get to see the very first episode of YBME Podcast. Your breakthrough moves everything. What does this mean? You about to find out from two sisters that was born on January the 1st, letting you know exactly how their new year started off when they decided to work on everything that has everything to do with their purpose. Stay tuned. What up, world? We right here live. It is exciting. We are right here with the YBME Podcast. We got the Fiji twins in the building.
Yeah, got Capricorns.
Listen, man, this is about to be a great episode, monumental for everybody to just check it out, sit back and relax and understand, man, everybody hopefully has a breakthrough.
Yes.
And that breakthrough will move everything else out of the way so you can be in alignment with your purpose. I want to introduce to you guys the owners, the founders, the CEOs, the boss ladies.
Keep going.
The queens of Twin and Tuesdays. The glow queens. You know, you can keep it going. They definitely gonna rock it out. Fee and G of YBME.
Yes.
Congratulations on your podcast.
Thank
today.
you.
Yeah.
I just listen, I want to start it off I just want to go out through a series of questions, and then, you know, we could just dive in, just have some fun.
Okay.
Just let everybody know who you are, where you guys grew up at, and, you know, who is who when it comes to Fee and G.
You want to take it? You got it.
So, Fee and G, identical twins, raised under the same roof in the same household, but have two different lenses on our upbringing in childhood. Me personally, I actually we went to college together, played volleyball, but after college or during college, I became pregnant, and so my life kind of quickly changed. And then Felicia was like, I'm not doing this. So she decided to go to the military.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, Fee, can you help me babysit? She's like, oh,
birth
no.
control
I'm
ever.
out. That was the quickest.
Yeah, because they issued them BC glasses and them. Yeah, everybody in the military know we all get BC glasses. You
That
ain't
was
getting
her
no
quick-
play.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the birth
No
control
play.
classes, for sure.
So I think that early on, as much as we literally had lived our life always together, same room, we drove the same car, we shared everything. We had to drive the same car. We played sports together where one had to go, where one went, the other had to go. So my mom really kept us tight. My mom even used to, she would sew in our initials on our collared dresses or tops. And so we dressed alike all through, I think, maybe elementary, partial middle school. I mean, it was so embarrassing. But that's what MJ
We
wanted
took clothes
to do.
though to school and changed.
We did take clothes to
definitely
change.
and had to make sure we changed back into our gear.
Because, for so
before.
long, like, we thought it was cool. I think we just were taught to dress alike, but then it's like, but I don't like what she likes.
We were searching for our own identity.
Yeah.
So when did y'all find it? When did y'all find, you know what?
I think the military, I think that the
This is
transition when I got pregnant and I became a young mom, and then when she went off, now here I am in the world by myself. I felt alone. So it's kind of like you had to just, for me, I had to scrape for myself because I've always had my sister to pick me up and be there. But now I had to make my own decisions. So I think that was a turning point in our lives.
Gee, that was beautiful.
Yeah,
No,
that was
seriously,
dope.
I think that's really what
That
it was.
dope.
I've never-
And remember when you asked me the other day, it was like, Dream, what's a paradigm shift? That was y'all paradigm shift. That
Yeah.
was the shift. You got pregnant. The shift was you got pregnant. Your whole situation shifted the day
When I got pregnant.
when you got pregnant.
I lost my volleyball scholarship. Yep.
Everything shifted.
Yep. Life happened.
That literally was the element of shift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But guess what? It had to happen. We're gonna find out
Yeah.
why it happened, what happened, when.
Well, we know
was
why it
happening.
happened.
Yeah. Well,
You know, this microphone. We know why. Let me move this microphone. Wait. We know why it happened.
yeah, we know why.
We know why.
He was outside.
I mean, I told my son that you just pray to God for a kid and then it just happened. So he doesn't really know that part.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
just prayed for you.
Yeah.
Girl, I'd be like, when you kiss, you get pregnant instantly.
Yeah.
If you think it, breathe it, it's gonna happen.
Straight up. Yeah. Shout out to all the fathers out there. Y'all know what it is.
y'all kissing out here. Y'all better slow
Y'all
it
better
down.
be careful.
Yeah. But so you got pregnant. Do you remember, Fee, do you remember where you were at, what you were doing that day when you found out that G was actually pregnant? Do you remember that day?
I can't exactly remember the day. I just know that when I learned about, I was ecstatic. I was ecstatic.
So
I was.
Our mom had just called. We were in college, Prairie View.
Oh, you remember the day.
Well, because my mom had just called and she was like, "Is your sister around?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" She says, I had a dream about fish." And she wanted to talk to both of us because we were like, what is, I don't know what a fish
Your
dream
mom
means.
dreamed that?
Yeah. And so, and at the time I didn't know I was pregnant. And so my mom talks to us about this fish dream.
At the time, I wasn't fornicating, so I knew.
So it wasn't her, but I was. I was like, well, let me go get myself checked. So I went to on campus healthcare, whatever, and had a pregnancy test done, and there I was, positive. So as much as I was scared,
Oh, hold on. So your mom called, had a dream about fish, and that was the only reason you went to go test?
yeah, because I didn't even. I mean, I wasn't really sexually active in a sense. I mean, I had one partner, so even. I'm gonna just say this. I was very naive in a sense.
Gotcha.
And so I didn't think I was because we were doing the pull-out method, right?
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, this is real talk here, right?
This
Girl,
is your
okay, all right.
podcast.
This is why I am. This is why we're doing
I'm
the
just-
pull-out.
I'm the co-host. I'm just this y'all podcast. I'm just here, you know.
And so, anyhow, I was pregnant, and so I call Fee because now keep in mind I'm on a volleyball scholarship, so I was terrified. And then what am I going to do? It's disappoint my mom, you know, and. It was kind of like, what do I do? But when I talked to Fee, because Fee, we shared the
"We're keeping
same
it. I'll
dorm
take it.
room.
I'll take it. You'll be the mommy. I'll be the father. I will take it.
She's like, we'll raise it together.
Hold on, wait, go back.
Okay.
So I need to hear this because I want to hear what happened. You
Okay, so I call Fee.
You call Fee. Fee, do you remember what you was doing? You can't remember what you was doing.
The excitement of her just.
You
Whatever.
don't remember the day. You don't remember where you was at. Do you remember anything of that day? Okay. Do you remember what you was doing?
I was at the health center right there on campus.
Okay, you was on campus.
Uh-huh.
Now, do you remember her reaction?
Yeah, she was ecstatic. She was so excited.
I do remember Gina feeling kind of just lost because of the scholarship and everything that she was about to lose.
Well, I kept playing. I kept going to practice. I kept going to volleyball because I didn't want our coach to know. And I think I did it for about a month or two. And Fee knew about it. I was pregnant. And then I remember going up to spike or something, and I felt like I pulled something. And so instantly I thought, miscarriage, oh my gosh.
Oh.
And so that was a turning point. So I went back to the health department to make sure I was okay or whatever was going on was okay. And I was okay, but that's when I had to make a decision on...
Okay, yeah, I gotta stop playing.
Yeah. And
Protect
once
the baby.
I came out and told my coach, and she was like, you know, and she has small children. She just wanted me to do what was best. But I knew after that semester, because the semester was already kind of paid up for the scholarship, I would not be returning back under a scholarship for the spring session. So I would have to find other means of income to help me support my way through school.
And how old were you right here?
I was 19. 19.
Okay.
And so I got a job working in our housing department. And I tell you, when there's just so many people that just angels while I was there.
Oh, yeah.
So anyhow, just pushing forward, I ended up telling my mom. My mom was, you know, actually my mom was really excited, you know, because we had gone to 2 years junior college. And for my mom, nobody in her family had gone to college, period. So for her, that was good.
Let me pause because you know what? I never asked y'all this. I'm only pausing for context purposes.
Yeah.
Now, you guys, for everybody to know, let's just make it official. Your ethnicity is what?
We're other.
I'm everybody's other, especially me. Check off.
we
like,
other. We
so,
all
so,
others.
but basically, mom is Hispanic.
My mother's Hispanic and my father is Black and a Cherokee Indian.
Okay, so did y'all ever do the quinceañera thing?
Yes, we did the quinceañera.
So
no, we didn't do a quinceañera.
We didn't do it, but our Hispanic side of our
They
family,
do.
we always attended.
So y'all never had a quinceañera?
No. Do you know how much those cost? It's like having a
Oh
wedding.
yeah. I've emceed so many of them.
Yeah, no. My mom's not
never
crazy. Now
had
MJ, she's funny, but she's not crazy.
But she's such a party person. Like I've
We
never
had
met
a
her.
quinceañera
I've
borderline
never met
party
her.
at our house.
But she.
I'm gonna tell you, my mom did that.
I'm gonna tell you, Mom. What I think
We
you
took
should
shots of
do,
tequila.
You should start your own quinceañera business because you're a turn up queen for real.
That's
MJ.
true.
MJ quinceañera service.
Oh, she probably would.
I think that'd be
Well,
great.
she does special events now.
Yeah, she
See,
does.
I knew it. I mean, bruh,
does
it just
special
makes.
events.
So hold on, wait. Hold on, this is interesting. So y'all did not have your own quinceañera because of how much it costs,
Yeah.
but you went to other people's.
Yeah, we went to our family.
Okay, in this culture.
Yeah, it's
So,
big.
okay, because I've always like, we'll talk about this later.
You do the
their
quinceañeras
turn
and
up-
you do the Sweet
turn
16.
up of the twins is a whole nother turn up. Like, they a whole turn up twins situation. Like,
Yeah.
you got a whole t-shirt coming out for that.
We didn't go. Listen, we're going back down memory lane. We didn't even go to prom. For us, we wanted just to go to Austin, to go to Sixth Street, whatever it's called.
yeah.
We just wanted to get away. We honestly have always just been not, which is, believe it or not, I know we're socialites now, but in high school we
That was
were
kinda like-
we were considered like ugly ducklings, and so we had friends. Well, just through sports.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
all, I hate to say this about all of us, but we were all kind of like just goofy together, right?
Yeah.
And so Fee and I never really had the rowdy type high school life.
Yeah.
It was just sports and work. And then we go off to college, and when we come back, now we're toned and we've got figures. And the thing that people would say when they would see us out was like, dang, you see the twins, they blossom. You don't see the twins. And I'm like, how you like us now, right? But that's been kind of like our attitude.
Gotcha.
Right? Am I lying?
I don't know. You want to name drop? No, I'm
No, I'm not
kidding.
name dropping.
Boom.
I'm not.
Boom, 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 boom. All y'all.
No.
All right, so now hold on. I want to
Okay.
don't lose track on that because I
Okay.
definitely had to figure that out because in my mind because I'm definitely going to go to the turn up side of you guys. in a
Yeah.
minute. But you're pregnant. We're 19 years old. Fee finds out. Fee says, "Let's keep it."
I
love
hope you raise it.
Mom's happy. You got support from mom. You got support from Fee. You good. So now you pull back from volleyball, and now the new normal is about to start here.
Yeah.
So Fee then sees this as super birth control,
Yeah.
and Fee says, "All right, I'm out."
Well, there was a
Was it
lot
that
more.
quick, or yeah, like
No, there was a lot. So now, I go through the pregnancy, and I decide, my mom and I are at odds because my mom's trying to become the mother of the child, right?
My mom wants her down back to San Antonio. We were at Prairie View, and my mom was trying to get her back to San Antonio. And she
Well, I
was
was
like,
living
no.
in Jackson with her.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I was living in Jackson with my mom, and she wanted, she was just helping me, but you're not doing it right. Just, how mommy's, mothers are.
yeah. I mean, you're 19. So
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
so, well, at this point, now that I've had
20.
him, I'm 20,
You're 20,
yeah.
okay.
And
Where
she
was
just-
I?
You already had left back
Left.
for training, for back to school training. What's it called? 2-a-day, whatever you call it. You went back to.
School
She went back to Houston.
to school.
Yeah,
Back to PB.
For
yeah,
volleyball
because
camp.
my
like
son
2
was
days.
born in May that summer. I was in Jackson, Mississippi with my mother, and she stayed in Houston. You were staying with.
No
yeah.
names.
Yeah, you were staying with your friends, girl.
Bombs.
And so, yeah. And so, long story short, while the summertime that I'm in Jackson, I'm like, I want to go back to school with Fee.
Oh, sheesh.
Keep going.
I said, I want to go back to school with Fee, because now keep in mind, I know I'm a mom, but I just want to still finish school. And so my mom and her situation was just unhealthy for me and my son, and my mom was just showing so much love to her new grandbaby that there became this attention issue with her husband. And so I felt like, you know what, let me just go back to San Antonio and let them work on their marriage.
Gotcha.
So I went back to San Antonio, and I was living with my aunt, and maybe like 2-3 weeks later, my mom shows up in a U-Haul, and she's like, "I'll be damned if some man's gonna keep me from my grandbaby."
That's what I'm talking about. Come on, MJ.
So she moved from Jackson back to San Antonio. So now we're all in my aunt's house, just living under one roof. But she just wanted to be with her. Josie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so, sorry, I know. I mean, guys,
But
again, different lenses.
This is what I'm talking about.
Hey, it's a
Different all
YBME.
this time. She's still in Houston.
What's
It's the
going on?
YBME.
She's still in Houston. And so,
Look at you learning something new today.
yeah,
I'm saying.
And so we are living with my aunt, and then my mom's like, "Okay, we've got to find a home," and that's really how she got her place where she's living now.
I can't wait to meet your mom.
Yeah, and so
You
once
think
she
your
got,
mom like me?
Oh yeah, my mom love everybody. She just
I
thinks
want
she
to
love
tell
everybody.
her. I'll tell her
Yeah.
I want a hug.
She'll tell you how she feels though, but she loves
I
it.
love
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Come on, bring it.
she's
Yeah,
very,
I
I need
she's
to bring all
yeah.
that.
This
Yeah.
podcast would be, if she was in here, it'd be all about her.
Oh, I'll take it.
Go Leos.
Shout out to Leos.
All right, so we're all at Auntie's house. You still at school?
She's still in
I
Houston,
am.
and my mom gets a home. My uncle, he he had a bunch of properties, and he invested in my mom to have one of his properties. And instead of me going to live with my mom, I wanted to go back to school. And so I think my mom and I were just at odds because I just still felt like I could still go to college.
You said properties. That's your Uncle Rudy. Rest in peace. We love you. We know
Another
you.
bomb.
Yeah.
No, that's
so we have
not-
a
No, we
very,
gotta have it.
our family,
That's
when I
my-
say we
that's
have,
my guy. That was
we
my
have
guy.
a very, very close-knit family. My uncle, and this is not about my uncle, but he made sure that a lot of our family members had a job.
Y'all was
Yes.
good.
You know,
Yeah.
he
He's
was like
watching
a
over us,
provider
yes.
for. Man, he was just a lot of people's blessings.
Kids love him. Oh my gosh.
And anyhow, long story short, so I decided I want to go back to college. Like, I feel like just because I'm a mom does not mean that my life should end.
Over, yeah.
Yeah.
So you
and
go back?
I went back.
No, who has the baby?
So
Mom?
we were living in the baseball coach had a trailer home off site.
Oh, wow, here we go.
Do you remember this now, V?
I do remember this.
So
Now this is why she left.
yeah, no. This is
The
actually
way she looking like,
no.
oh,
This
yeah, I
is this was
remember
the
this.
beginning of it. This is the beginning of her. You know what? The hell with this shit. I'm over it. This is just not even her problem. It's my. You get to a point where you're just, and I'm not. I wasn't. I think at first I was hurt, but I understood later because this is not her problem, and so I moved in. We moved into this trailer home across the street. Her, myself, and another volleyball player, and it became more of like a trap house. Well, I don't know if I
Literally?
call it a trap house, but like
Only
people,
because of what you put yourself in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Gina was that. Gina, oof.
yeah, I was a loose
Gangster
My
Gina.
goodness.
I was
no,
in
it wasn't a
gangster
trap
Gina.
house, but I'm gonna tell you, we had a lot of situations up in there, but it was because Gina was just so friendly. Why me and my teammate are always trying to get some sleep around there.
Oh, dang.
Gina just
I just have a good time. I felt like I
Gina
missed out 2
turned it
years
up.
being pregnant and then
Listen,
having a child.
listen.
But long story short, I became very dependent at that moment for Fee to help me with my son.
Oh.
I even got a job working at Old Navy, and then when she would say, "No, I'm not doing this," I would literally have to take him to an overnight childcare in Houston, off of like North Houston, whatever.
Then
Drop
back-
him
then
off.
drive back to Old Navy.
Drive to Old Navy, pick him up, but everything I was making at Old Navy for the shipment team, I'm paying into the child care. So it was like, and then I remember, oh my gosh, I had to go to Walmart and I had no money. I did write a hot check. And I remember like I couldn't afford diapers, milk, and I think we hadn't even got our refund yet or something. And I remember doing this, and that came back to bite me in my ass later on. But I'm just telling you the things that we go through in life, right?
Yeah.
So that moment, just where the struggles were real. I couldn't afford to keep my part of the bills, the electricity on. I couldn't contribute to groceries anymore. And here I am with the baby, and you have two other volleyball players. They have a life. I'm the one that's just kind of like, what's next? Just probably
Right.
giving up on myself.
Right.
And I think she just got to a point where, and I don't want to answer, but it's just for me looking outside.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, like she's like, fuck this. That's her child.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
didn't.
my.
I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, that's exactly. So she had a kumbaya with my mom.
Yeah.
We had one SWAT. Shout out to PV volleyball team.
One
we won
time,
SWAT.
one time,
right?
one
We were
time.
champions
Yes.
that year. And after that, I couldn't play anymore. And I had one more semester after that. After fall, I had one more semester to get my degree. I didn't go back. I went home for the Christmas holiday.
Didn't go
and
back.
I never went back. I joined the military, and I was like, I want to keep playing, but I know I couldn't play anymore.
Let's pick it up from there, because my question to everybody that's listening to this podcast, and I'm going to hear from you first. Have you ever seen? First of all, have you ever seen Saving Private Ryan? Have you ever seen that movie? I remember first time I seen that movie, I was like, "Yep, I ain't doing that ever. I don't care what they pay me. I will never." And I love y'all. Thank y'all for your service.
Yes.
Praise God for y'all. Y'all are just superheroes to me. Shout out to the new YBME military gear. The little
Yes,
superhero,
yes.
Yeah,
Camo.
the swag.
yeah.
Yes.
What was it like? What's made you say, you know what? Military.
I could play volleyball for the military, for the Air Force, and then they also mentioned they would continue. I could continue my education, being paid for through the military. So those were my reasons for doing it. But then when, of course, you get into it, it's bigger than that. Okay, I have now a stable paycheck and job security, and I'm locked in for the next 4 years. So for me, it was
So you made a very strategic. You're a strategist. So you did strategy,
I have to.
but not really. I
Well,
mean,
the thing
you
I
have
love-
to because who you are, because you're a fee. But you had options.
I had options, but for me, all I knew was volleyball. When she had her situation, and when she didn't, she was off the team, and her and Jackson, to her point, it was hard for me to even accept that we were not together for that period, because that's all I knew was her. And then when she came back, I mean, everywhere we went, we were always we were either in the same room. Shared a room, or we were in one
Like a
apartment
dorm.
sharing apartment. I mean, it was always her and I together. So when she went off to Jackson, that was a moment where I would just stay, focused, playing sports, trying to keep in church more than I had ever been. And then when
At
she
that moment, you was in church a lot.
more than I had ever been. And when she came back, I became to be more in church than I was even because I needed an outlet.
Because not
But-
realizing that even though she missed me,
It was a lot.
it was a lot for her to digest. Now she's a new mom. Now she's depending on me. That's not. I mean, I want to help my sister, but now I'm feeling
Dang,
like she's
I'm
taking advantage of
I'm
me.
torn between
Yeah.
me being probably just being me,
Yeah. Yeah.
but me neglecting my sister.
Well, hold on, to go back. I didn't even know what that meant, being me.
Yeah.
All I knew was I'm a twin in this world. I
We
just
needed to
couldn't
change
figure
it.
out my position in her world. And when I did, it was extremely overwhelming.
Right, because now on a cool, it became all about you. Like
Yeah.
you and the baby, and this is your daughter,
My
son.
son.
your
my older
son, your older son. Yes, and so you're torn between being a good auntie
My goodness.
and being a good sister, but still being. I need to figure out who I am,
Yeah.
and that's where you was at.
And that's when I went to the military.
And you said you think that whole thing is what drew you closer to God, because you said
I
you was in
was-
church more.
Yeah, I went to church more because I was by myself.
Yeah, and I feel you, because when you're by yourself, you're really not by yourself.
That part.
So, look, can I say something about this
Yeah.
Okay.
transition with Fee though during this time? Most recently, me being in church, they're always talking about like, godly people. Surround yourself, with godly people, or just pray about. And I always say the person that I always think about who is godly to me in my life is my sister.
Yeah.
She's been that since very
Spirit.
young.
She's
Very young.
She's a high vibrated spirit.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember when she in college, we went to service. This is before I got pregnant, and she done gave him the whole refund check. We went to go eat, and I go,
What?
"Well, you just got." And she goes, "Well, no, I just gave it to the church." And I go, "You gave what to the church?" And she goes, "The whole refund."
No, hold on.
When
hold
I say
on.
fee is highly favored,
Hold on. Let's go
God,
back. Do you remember how much the check was?
I didn't.
it was over probably 1,000.
That's major back then.
But she gave it all. She gave it all.
Do you remember doing that?
I remember. No, I know that when my heart speaks, and so I can't tell you what I've done throughout my journey. And so she witnessed it. I wouldn't remember that. And that's why I'm saying, like, there's things that she sees through her lens that I may not remember. And I know that I don't keep tab, man. Just if it.
Hold on, man.
Yeah,
Hold on.
sorry.
I don't think you understand what you're saying right now. Now listen.
From a very
this
young
is
age.
this is high vibrational. I'm telling you, like, I mean, I've done this. I've done this. I said, whatever's in my wallet, I'm gonna give it to you.
That's fee.
I've done it
In
I've
college at 19,
I've just-
18, 19.
I don't want to block. This is what I'm supposed to do. Here.
Yeah, that was her.
I don't meet too many people that have done that type of
That was fee.
impact. Now, I didn't have over $1,000. I think the one time I did, I had, and it was crazy because I had just got finished DJing at this one spot, and the lady gave me a tip, and I was so crunk, but I forgot I still had it in my wallet because I DJed on a Saturday night. Went to church on a Sunday, and the service was just, I promise you, he was
Talking directly to you.
I mean, it was all on me. And I just, boom. And I ain't even look. I ain't look, but I think it was probably like maybe $600 something. And I just said, boom. I remember my partner looking at me like this. And after, at dinner that night, he's like, bro, how much you giving church? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't meet too many people who have done that.
Yeah, no, she gave him the whole refund. Which, you know, I'm sure at that moment when we were younger, I'm like, you just, no, you know, I was fussing at her. Like, now how are you going to eat? But it's just amazing how
making
full
a way.
circle.
Yeah.
She's always been such a spiritual
That's a
person.
big one.
And most recently in church, when I'm constantly reminded about just spiritual and just anointed people.
Yeah.
I always think about my sister.
So would you say she's the strongest spiritually between y'all two?
Yes.
Okay, and we're definitely gonna bring that up in a later
Yes.
episode, which is dope. But
Yeah.
I think that's super dope, and I didn't know that about you, but I kind of did though.
Faithful
I told
love.
you.
I'm gonna tell you how I
I
kind of
told you.
did. I remember one day I was at your favorite spot. This was when I first met y'all. Shout out to the Glorious crew.
Hey.
And I didn't know. I could tell exactly who each one is now. At
Okay.
first, I could. I mean, it was just.
Our energy's different.
My whole brain was like, bro, I literally just got finished talking to you, right? You're like, no. I was like, okay. So y'all were downstairs, and it was just such a turn up. Like, I don't know if it's somebody's birthday or what, but I remember now I know it was you. And you was just like, yo, I got everybody a drink. Let's go.
Oh, we
Turn
were
it up.
probably celebrating life or
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah.
But if we don't
and-
have a birthday,
and
we
I-
celebrating life.
And I'm like, yo, and then y'all, they had that drink, and then you said, I got y'all again.
That's fee.
And I was like, yo, that's,
Y'all know we're recording this. I don't need nobody else. No.
I was like, yo,
I'm
that's
changed,
different.
y'all. I'm changed.
But
That's
you
what
know,
I'm saying.
you know where we've learned that though from? My mom. My mom. It's nothing for her to say, especially if she sees. My mom's good. My mom is a high beat energy.
Yeah.
And she wants everybody around her to be in that same space.
Yeah.
Right? Because my mom comes in talking. My mom's gonna light up a room.
Yeah.
And so if she's having a good time, everybody around her is gonna be having a good time.
Yeah.
And so we learned this early on. So when we buy drinks for people, it was unheard of.
Yeah.
But I mean, now it's kind of like, hey, we
we know when y'all start doing that. Hey,
yeah,
it's
we're
okay.
drinking. But my mom started that, and Fee is good. She does that.
Okay, so I'm super glad this was. I'll be able to come back to this point, but you said I'm about to go to the military. Now you're in the military. Do you remember day one?
Yeah.
Talk about it.
No, let's talk about when she had to
No,
get.
it's not.
What's that?
Let's not.
Talk about the day before she left.
Let's talk about her drug test.
It wasn't my drug test.
Oh.
It was my damn license was about
Oh,
because
that's
January
right.
1st.
That's right. Because I got is it because I got the ticket?
It might have been your hot check, bitch. Excuse me.
So there had been times where I would use her driver's license if I had a ticket already out or a warrant for
No, it
unpaid
was
tickets.
for a hot check. I think he was either at a
Walmart.
no Walmart or
That's what I
Pizza
had.
Hut or something like that at Alvin Community College. For a $15 check, I went to jail. I was warrant out for my arrest.
The day before you're supposed to leave.
Yeah.
Her. before she
It was
goes
2 days
to,
before I left because
Hold
I
on.
went.
Oh, you went to jail for her check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How?
She wrote the check. I didn't know it was. They used
She
to
wrote
have
it in
it-
your name?
It
We
was
had
my
a
bank
shared
account.
account back then.
It was Nation's Bank, and then we closed it, and then we didn't even know.
This was the day before you're about to go?
It was the day before, maybe 2 days before I had to go. I went
And
to
get
get my
checked in.
license. They told me to. I thought I was having special treatment because I was going to the military. They're like, "Could you go sit back there?"
Yeah. Go, hey,
I went back
come into
there.
the VIP room. We got something for
They
you.
took me in, man. I was so scared. I was gone.
Go to the VIP. I got something for you. Come over
Hey,
here.
I go, this is what they do. Okay, yeah, I'm going to the military. They said that.
Would you like some Fiji
There's
water
no
while you
line
sit?
over there. There's no line over there. Man, I cried. That was the most.
Was your first
scariest-
time going to jail?
Man, sheesh, yes.
You think God was like, maybe you shouldn't?
But
do
now
that?
I have PTSD. Every time I go get my license renewed, I'd be worried.
Like, hey, y'all got a room? I don't want to go in it.
I don't want special treatment. No, I
Right.
stay up here with everybody else.
So you
No,
go to the
but-
room. How long was you in jail for? Like 2 days?
No, just I think it was. I pray it was less than 24 hours because I know the
Okay,
next
you
morning
just-
I had to be at the evening, the day that I got out. That evening I had to be at the hotel because the next morning they were taking us to the MEP center
Got you.
And,
all right, so you got out.
in time.
How was you get on the bus.
And can I just say a disclaimer? Anybody who has like a misdemeanor like that, just go to the courthouse. I actually turned myself into when I was 19, 18, whatever, 20. And I sat and just booked. They just had to book me for like 2 hours.
They had to process it.
Process me. And then they let me go and I'm like, so you just
Yeah.
humiliated me.
Yeah.
And he's like, all you gotta do is go to the courthouse. So if anybody has, just note to self, a misdemeanor, go handle that shit.
A YBME.
Why
note
a
to
moment?
self.
Reflection time.
Hey,
Just go
stay
handle that
tuned for the
misdemeanor.
YBME note to self.
The things be like now
Crazy.
things probably changed nowadays, but back then it was just a waste of. I mean, it is what it is. We did it. I did it. I had to go put my little 2 hours in and use my little fingerprints.
But now we're at an age where we have some attorneys on our. We know some attorneys and.
oh
you know,
yeah,
so-
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
We
go
have
take
different
care of it for
resources
you.
now.
Yeah.
We're
There you
older
go.
now.
Yeah,
yeah.
just hey.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry,
take
Fee. Go
care of
ahead.
it.
Go back to your
So,
intake.
Okay,
You're-
give me
you're-
some more questions because I'm done with that. Right, I'm done with that part. My heart is racing.
You going back to that room?
'Cause I gotta get my license. I gotta get my license renewed next year.
Can you step in here for a second?
Yeah.
Look,
I'll be
man.
like,
Look,
sheesh.
man. No rooms.
No, my goodness.
So,
No.
okay.
I remember one time getting pulled over and we were driving back to Houston. I was like, "Give me your ID, V. I need your ID."
Oh, my
And she's
gosh.
like, "Why you, V? He just come on, he's coming." Because I'm pulled over, and she's like, "Bitch." So she just gives me her ID.
She didn't have her
Ma'am,
ID.
you know
She
why
didn't have
I
driver's
pulled you
license.
over? So I actually just got a warning, and I had and before gotten a ticket for under her license. I mean, it was kind of cool being a
So
twin
in my
some
mom's
cases,
eyes,
but-
I was the more
It's kinda
responsible one. So
Yeah.
my mom allowed me to have my license. Gina did not. get
I didn't
her
have a license.
So you were responsible.
In my mom's eyes.
Okay, gotcha.
in my not in the
Gang-
world's eyes,
not
but in my
Gangster G.
mom's eyes.
Gangster G was.
Oh, my mom already says it. She's like, I knew Fee was bad. She just watched you go through it and then learn from it.
Fee was
quiet.
She's the one that just never
She's
got
quiet.
caught.
Hey,
She was the one
hey,
that sit back
hey.
and then I moved
This is the
silently.
segment of note to self.
Yeah.
I am not doing this. And Fee was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not
Yeah,
doing-
my mom
Fee
is
used
well
to
aware.
change her grade. Let me tell y'all this story real quick. So
Is this
MJ
gonna
had
make
a
you feel
rule of
bad? Wait, This is
engagement.
gonna make you feel better.
No, because we're talking about our upbringing.
Yeah, girl.
But
More
look,
stories.
So Fee used to back then. They used to have that little book of report card. It was like report card,
Yeah.
cardstock
photos,
paper.
yeah.
You know, looked like a half sheet. Well, then they started printing them out, which meant that there was ink, right? Printers, right? So Fee figured out, well, if I keep folding it in the creases where my
D's at, I can
my
make that
D
into an A.
my grade is at, it'll like wash
A
out,
or
and I
B.
can just write it in on with the grade I want. And my mom would, so she did that a few times on her report card. She changed her grades, and my mom, because it was an expectation that Fee would not get lower than a C.
No, we had to have A's and B's.
It was an expectation that I would always bring home a C, right? Sometimes a D, you know, just depending on what class it was. But Fee, I knew, was not having all A's and B's, and I knew she was changing her grades, but I never said anything to my mom because I said, what's done in the dark will eventually come to light. And then sure enough, Fee got on my nerves
After
one day.
Gina's public announcement, my mom knew.
I was like, you think she's the...
Gina couldn't go to a party, so Gina ratted me out. But that's the significance about being,
Oh, you
being a
ratted
twin
your
sister.
Oh,
sister.
yeah, I was so tired. Fee just got away with so
snitches.
much.
Snitches get
Stitches.
stitches, that
Yeah,
part. But that
no.
just, my mom is so used to it. She's like, oh, she would put out bait for us to start talking about each other. And then all the dirty
It's all
laundry's
out.
out there. It's aired out. Yeah.
Hold on, I want to go back.
Who's that?
So you're getting on the bus. There's a bus to take you
Oh, yeah.
to
to Met.
military.
Yeah.
Walk us through that day.
MEP Center.
Knights Hotel.
The MEP Center. I said once you swear in, they put you on a bus, and then you drive into Lackland, and I think just the training. Each unit had whatever bus you were on. That's where you were going to be your training. Your training whatever building, or squadron or unit or whatever. And so I remember pulling up and seeing all these other young airmen out there forming formation, and just like, what the hell did I just do? Oh shit! I can't turn back the hands of time. When they open up that door and I'm sliding there like, let's go, And then you had to get out. We got the bus, and then instantly drop your stuff. It just happened so fast. I remember the first time, even that first day when we had to go eat. I went to eat and not paying attention. If you're not in the military, it's all about paying attention to detail, watch your surroundings, things like that. But me being the first time going into their chow hall, we go in there and I'm not paying attention that everybody has to get to the table. Then they sit together, and then you all better be done eating before the next people, because if these people, it's a strategic, system. And I get to my table and sit my happy ass down, and that damn TI came over there so fast, all in my face, and I'm just like Smokey the Bear. Just with the hat. I'm just like, I'm freaking out. They threw a bag of chips, and I'm like, "Are you gonna eat those?" Like, that was so mean. And but it broke me. I never, but again, that was my first time where I'm like, damn, you got to really observe everything. Sheesh, trust nobody, suspect everybody. And just everything that you do, you just, got to stay ready. Got to stay ready. But I will say that is the best choice that I made in my life to define who I am and the things I've got to do. And the strength you were talking about yesterday when you were talking about me being, Fee, you're probably stronger than you think. I go, yeah. Because I know I could do it. I just mentally, I'm building that back up. But man, I remember being upstairs and crying. Bibles. They have little Bibles in our day room, and just
the little orange ones.
They were green.
Green ones? Yeah.
And then just like, I'm not want to say crying. I would be praying, looking outside. I missed her. She would write me. I have her letters that she used to write me.
Wow.
Then I heard she was marrying someone, and I was devastated because I couldn't get to my baby.
To the marriage, yeah.
I didn't care about the marriage. I must call my baby.
Right,
her
right,
baby.
all right.
Her baby was my
son,
baby.
Tajay was like her baby.
Yeah.
And when I learned that, I was just, I don't know, man. I think I broke and couldn't understand, like, why would she do this to me? But it
You were
wasn't my
about
child.
How old were you around this time?
We're 20. We're 20.
So this is very quick. This is
It
happening
happened so
quickly.
fast. When I
Okay.
met my guy that she's referencing, I only knew him like 3 months.
And you got married?
Yeah, I was like, do you want me and the baby? And he's like, yeah. I was like, Mom, deuces. We're out of here.
Sheesh.
I know it doesn't, but it was just very, very,
No,
very
it's
quick.
young. It is.
Let me tell you how God worked though. I moved to Mississippi, and then she ended up going
Mississippi
there
for
to
training
Mississippi
school.
for a tech school. So I was close to her. She was on the ocean. What was it Biloxi?
Keisler.
Keesler. And so I was able to see her, go travel and see her while she was there in training. So that was actually an awesome
So I
experience.
did attend her wedding, and then she pulled me into the room and was like, I don't want to do this. I go, if you don't get your ass up out of there.
So they allowed you. You have the.
I had to
say-
be back by a certain time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she was in, yeah.
So what I want y'all to do is pause right there because we definitely got a commercial break.
Oh. Stay
tuned. YBME Podcast. We're gonna find out exactly what happened during this wedding. Stay tuned. Have you ever figured out exactly today is my purpose, or almost figured out how do I get to my purpose, or in the process of trying to figure out your purpose? That's a big day because that day will define you, and those days will set you free from all the things of anxiety, depression, because you're trying to figure out what do I need to do with this one life that I have. My name is Dream of Dream Motivates. I'm a motivational speaker, entrepreneur coach, and I own a marketing firm. I basically created what I wish I had. I used to get in trouble for writing and talking in class. Literally. I had write, do not talk in class, do not talk in class 1,000 times. But guess what? I get paid today to talk. Embrace your power. Embrace your superpower. Find your purpose. If this is you, holla at your boy at Dream Motivates on everything. Now, get back to the episode with me and my sisters. Welcome to the YBME Podcast. Let's go. Welcome back to the YBME Podcast. We got the Fiji twins in the building. Shout out to Fiji Water. Listen, I don't know if we can get some type of endorsements, but
Yes.
we are representing.
Look how nice and just smooth the water is. Oh my gosh,
How
it's going
awesome
down so
would it be
smoothly.
if Fiji got with Fiji, we could be G.
Hey.
You know, counting G's.
That's
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Fiji.
So listen, okay, we wrote a note to get out of the so how do you have to do? You say, hey, my sister is getting married.
Yeah, tech school. Just show. So when you're at a certain stage in your training, as you go up, it could be maybe 2 weeks there, 3 weeks there, whatever. I was probably there maybe 5 or 6, where you can get off the base. You just have to be back by a certain time. And I was already there because I'd been there so long. In preparation to my permanent station, which was Langley Air Force Base. So at that time, she was getting married. I was able to get off the base for the day. I could leave in the morning, sign out, and then just be back by a certain time. And so that's what I did. I went there, and she was like, I don't want to get married. I go, you get married today.
I done came out the whole military and the Air
She's
Force.
like, you don't understand. I said, I don't have to. You're getting married today. I go, it's
So you're in
comfy.
your wedding dress.
No, I was actually in my mom's old school wedding dress.
Were you really?
The one she got married to the husband she divorced.
Hey, you know what?
That was
I ain't used this, so might as well go ahead and put some use to it. Shout
My
out
mom
to
was like,
MJ.
here. Because I was like, I don't have no money for her wedding dress. I've got something, so I wore her dress. Thank you,
She's
Mom.
so sweet.
But I already knew, just kind of like leading up to, I didn't want to get married. There were so many red flags about where I was in life at that time. Marriage was not one of them. I think I forced it just because I wanted to prove a point that I have value to somebody, that he wanted to marry me, and maybe show my mom that there is somebody out there that wanted me and my son, in a sense. So I got married for the wrong reasons. And I was telling Pete, and my ex-husband's father, he was the pastor of the church. And so it made it more even difficult because we were having this wedding ceremony right after Mother's Day program in the church. And so there was a lot of people out there, and I was like, Fee, come here. And she's like, what, girl, do you need me to help you with something? I was like, I don't want to get married. I don't want to do this.
Yes,
I don't, this
Yes,
is,
you do.
I can't do this. Now, keep in mind, my mom, MJ, is out in the congregation with everybody, and the babe, and Tajay, and
She kicking it.
excited. Yeah, she's ready for this to happen. And I don't know if my sister or somebody, somehow MJ appears. And she's like, because I was telling Pete, girl, just pull the car around the side. And she's like, no.
burn off.
No. I just didn't want to get married. I knew that, I don't know, it was just, now I can understand why runaway brides happen, because it is anxiety, but it's also, there's so much happening up to that point.
Like, what did I just get
What did I
into?
just do? And the
Yeah.
things that are happening, are they deal breakers for some people?
Yeah.
Because if you pray about it, God will show you. And I knew I just did not want, but I did it.
So you had the wedding. And how was the reception?
We went to Piccadilly's.
That was cool.
Okay.
How long did y'all stay married for? Well,
I mean, we
made it
were
work?
married on paper for 3 years.
Gotcha.
But it was amazing people, great awesome family. I learned a lot about myself, and embracing their world, living in the country. I knew I was a city girl, but it was actually not so bad. I just think it was just not good timing in regards to the whole marriage part for me.
And I'm just laughing because
Well, I'm glad you're happy.
I'm laughing because I know I'm learning something about y'all. Because meanwhile, Fee is having another note to self.
Yeah, don't get
not doing this. So she's just noting it up right now.
I'm like this. I'm like, I know I got to be back on base by a certain time.
Yeah.
I got orders
Look,
in
we
2
went,
months.
we went to Keeler and joined a card club and just started rolling
good
around
time.
with a car. I mean, she was living her
living my best
So
life.
I had some envy in her because
Got you.
here I am being this wife and a mother
And
and
she's
trying to
just
be
out
domestic, trying to be domestic.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. Now, keep in mind, I wasn't taught how to be domestic, so I'm trying to figure this role out.
Got it.
And I'm sure it made it more complicated for my partner and me because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure this out. And then all along, my sister is just like, "Hey, she would be in her card club. They have their little theme song, and I'm just like, I'm just so pissed because I want to be.
Hold
in
on, but
Keesler.
that's further down in line. But I did do that. I want
Okay.
everyone to know. Yes, 30. What is it? 300s. Crash 300s. 300 degrees was the card club in
Yeah.
Biloxi, Mississippi. Shout out to
300
them. I don't know if y'all still going, but
Let me
they
ask you
definitely
this.
took me in.
Let me ask you this, Fee, for context purposes again. Now you go back to the military, and we understand your paradigm shift with the baby. Now that created paradigm shift for you.
Yeah,
Now you're in the military.
I'm in the military.
You're in the military. What is a real defining moment that you could, if you could go back, that happened to you in the military that said, you know what? Whoa. This is something that literally just changed me.
I would say the first time I saw or heard of, unfortunately in the military you have a lot of deaths, especially through the war, through our operations. I had a friend, and I'm gonna say shout out to Dorinda, shout out to Alicia. They're still my friends, even though we don't speak or anything. It wasn't anything malicious or anything like that. But I learned lessons through them. So many. Dorinda, she had lost her brother, and rest in peace, her brother, who was a Marine at the time. And to see someone that I really loved, I do love, so close to comfort, that Operations War is real, right? And then seeing it, I would just say the people that I met through my journey, there's a reason for why I met so many people, and it was from my personal growth, honestly. We've had tragedy and we've had laughs, but at the end of the day, I totally, and when I say wingman, that term wingman is very special to me because I don't trust everybody. And so it's a lot, man. It's a lot. I can't just pick something out. There's a lot of adversity.
'Cause I always wanted to ask this for. I know it's a delicate situation because when you talk about people in the military when they come out and then they gotta be y'all become these superheroes for us, and then y'all gotta come back and be just walk around mortal, knowing that you were a superhero doing your super thing, but coming back and just being Clark Kent all day over here.
So I would say this. I don't see myself as a superhero. My kids did. They still do. When I deployed and I came back, that was probably the thing. That was one thing that my oldest daughter would speak on. My mom's my superhero. And I never see it that way. I see it as one team, one fight, one mission. We all come there together. We all going to be accountable and come back. But I remember just being on flights back from Ramstein back to the stateside, and I remember taking a hop one time from Ramstein back stateside, and we were asking a lot of questions like, what are in those trunks? Like they had these wooden trunks or whatever, and there was a whole row of them. Didn't realize they were caskets. Until
Caskets with people in them. Yeah. So you just
they don't
looking at all
disclose that stuff, and it just. But I'll tell you this: it didn't make me sad. It made me want to fight harder. And wherever y'all need me, just send me. And I think that was actually my. I was selfish because I didn't think about what that would do to my kids when I would leave.
Yeah. So you was just in that moment.
Yeah.
That hoorah! I know that was when I see that with military, I just be like, yo, y'all different.
Yeah, I mean, but
It's a lot of sacrificing
Oh,
going
it
across
is.
the board on the soldier side and the family side.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's a lot
but
of
we
support.
don't. And then when you're like you just said, when you're in that zone, you don't give two shits. Just send me there. We're all like trying to make a difference. Like we're trained. Like just send me there. And I mean, I remember going, and I'm like, shit, I'm on my way now. And I was like, the hardest thing for me was like telling my kids, well, I think I've shared this with you, and anytime I went to training or deployment or whatever, or even just upgrade training anywhere, any time I left my home for a long period of time, I would always have a conversation with my daughters. If mommy doesn't return, you guys have to have each other. So when you say military, like you never turn it off. And so my kids would be like, Mom, I'm only 8. I'm only 10. Why are you talking
Drop it,
like
give me
this?
20. I ain't trying to hear nothing. I feel you.
I'd be like, just stay ready.
Yeah,
Don't separate. Don't let and so it was just, I mean, I don't know, but that may have been working for me in my life, in my household. I couldn't speak for everyone's household. But I know, just like I said, living on base has been some amazing stories. We've had, like I said, tragedy. We've had, I've met amazing people. But at the end of the day, we all speak the same language. Because when we're away from our families and we're in a zone, whether it's deployed location or training or whatever, we tend to come together. Now, I will say being overseas is a lot more connected community than it is stateside. Now, I will say that. When I worked for NATO, or she came to visit me, and there was only like 30 American families, and we ate together like every weekend or during the week. We just were really connected. And when you came to back to the States, I was like, where is the love? 5 o'clock, everyone just does what they want to, they're in their own zone. But I mean, I hope I answered your question, but
No, you did.
There's just so much to it.
Let me ask you this too, while you're in that same thought process. Can you define a breakthrough moment in the military for you?
Yeah. One for me would be, and remember how I said I wanted to go in because I just wanted to play volleyball and it was all paid. Well, then I wanted to become an officer. And I had already taken the AFOQT, and you can only take it twice in your career. And I failed it. And then I'm like, oh, Fee, come on, you can do this. You take tests all the time. In the Air Force, you got to take tests to promote and stuff. So I'm like, you do this all the time, you can do this. So I'm studying. And then I had just taken a hop, another military aircraft back to the States. And I remember stuff happening, and all these enlisted members were taking care of this plane that we were in, just making shit happen. And I said to myself, I want to continue to be the backbone of the Air Force and not delegate. I want to do. I'm a doer, not a delegator. And that's just where I sat and for me, that's where I sat in my mind. And so as much as you have your second chance here to take the AFOQT, I chose not to do it. And I had a general, right? They wrote my recommendation letter. I had it all ready to go, my package. I was just, in that moment, I was like, I want to be the backbone.
This is good because this kind of helps me kind of like, remember I said when I understand the dynamics of you two, So before I ask this next question, during your new mommyhood, marriage, during that time, what would you say you had any breakthroughs that happened that defined, you could figure it out exactly, this was a breakthrough, I figured something out during that time?
I mean, for me, because, before I got married, I knew that wasn't what I wanted. I still had to live for myself.
Yeah.
And so even though I was going through the motions of being married, I was determined to get back in school. I wasn't going to make that an excuse. Oh, I've got kids and I'm a wife. No, I'm going back to school. So I went to school. I worked, shout out to Old Navy. And I was the full-time mom and a wife. But I was determined to finish school. That was the most important thing to me, believe it or not, over my marriage.
And while you're a single mom, well, you was married, But even while you was a a young mother, you did all that and you still finished school.
Let me tell you this: when I went through my divorce, because I didn't want to just up and relocate to Texas with my kid. Now I have a daughter. I've conceived a daughter with my husband. I wanted. I am a product of a fatherless upbringing, so I wanted to make sure my kid's father was in their lives. So I stayed, but because I couldn't afford to get my own apartment, I moved on campus, and I allowed the kids to stay with him while I finished school. So that was probably one of my hardest decisions, not having them with me. But he ended up moving so close to. Shouts out to Jackson State. He moved so close where he was able to bring them to me. They would come visit, and it's funny. My roommate, they were the Jackson State kids, right? And so we'd walk the campus, and I'm very grateful for him. But when we're talking about finishing my education, I just wanted that degree because I had gone through so many failures, right?
Right.
In my mind.
But you want to feel like, I accomplished something.
Yes, even though I may feel like a failure and things may not be going right, there was just something that I know that I can do, and I can't blame anybody else.
No matter what, you kept going. You working at Old Navy. You kept pushing.
I have to say something on this. Not only was she one to graduate from Jackson, her breakthrough is she was the only grandbaby.
64 of us.
Of 64 to be the first to get her degree. So that is a big deal for her.
Wow.
That's
major.
That's a breakthrough. And then from her, it was like, I'm right behind. No, man. I got my master's after that.
And you got your master's. Wow. So let me ask you this, which brings us to here we are today.
Yeah.
Where were you at?
Me?
When you was like, you didn't know what you were doing, but you were birthing something. And you said, I want to just do something with this. I want to call it YBME. And you put on a hat.
Oh, yes. YBME. Yes. Okay. I'm here with you.
So where were you at? What was going on in life? Fast forward. You're here now.
Your transition here.
So, yes. In my military career, as I transitioned out, I retired in 2017. And through my journey, the paths I had crossed, a lot of people, I found adversity just as much as I had found in the military. I was finding it more so in the civilian sector. And that was a big pill for me to swallow because I actually didn't know how to deal with civilians. I only knew how to deal with military members. We all had tough skin and shut the fuck up. We just talk crazy. But civilians, everyone has feelings. And I have feelings, but I've had to learn a different behavior.
Yeah.
And so here I found people wanting to be in my shoes, but didn't know my story. And so there was a point in my life where I'm a very emotional person, but I tend to try to look strong. Facade at all. Mm-hmm. Because I felt like for me and my kids, that's all I've known is I got to be strong.
Be strong, yeah.
But it would be okay if I could wear my feelings on my shirt. And so I wanted to incorporate a fashion, some kind of fashion of clothing where I would wear my feelings on my sleeve, whether I felt sleepy or unhappy or sad. Just give me grace. We're all joyful. Entitled to emotion. Mm-hmm. Yes, joyful, peaceful, whatever it is I felt that there in that moment. I felt like I had the right to wear it, and everyone has the right to feel and be in their zone. It's not talked about enough. Mm-hmm. And there are so many emotions that we have never come across that I'm intrigued by them, through adversity. Whatever, good or bad. So anyhow, why be me? It came through that because I was always asking myself, why would I want to be me? Mm. But then as I look back and I see my story, I'm here for this reason. Like I went through my adversity. It's built character. And
then God led you to another brother.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just kind of just say it in a Cliff Note version. I'm just minding my own business. Just YBME myself. And for me, And my office is on top of Glorious for those for need context about this podcast. Meet these two twins and it's super dope, just cool. Become sisters and brothers and high five each other every time we see each other. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Delicia. She comes in and said, hey, want y'all to come check out my podcast. You know what? Now that I think about it, I think that's the first day that y'all really see me.
The podcast? Her
I think that's the
podcast?
first day y'all really seen
It
me.
was, because I didn't know you were up here.
Y'all looked at me so different after that podcast. Y'all looked at me different while I was doing the podcast. Y'all was like, I could tell that.
I don't think we knew exactly what we thought. Maybe marketing, maybe, but we didn't know that you had all this going on.
Yeah,
And-
but the way y'all looked was like almost like a Martian or alien. Like
This
like,
what it
who
is.
are you? Like, bro,
It's a nice set. You got a nice
What's up?
setup.
Yeah,
What the
yeah,
hell?
and I thank you, thank
It's a
you.
hidden gem.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm not braggadocious. I don't do all that.
You don't
flashy
have to.
dashy. I
No,
don't
let
know
us
how
do
to-
it.
Yeah, y'all do it. And
Was
so,
it?
I said y'all should start your podcast. This is 2 years ago, guys. So trust the process. And straight up, I kept seeing them. I'm like, yo, y'all gonna do it? I just stopped asking, straight up, to be honest with you. So I get a text. I'm actually speaking somewhere. And no, I'm on a podcast. I'm in a podcast like this right now. And I get a text now, just like that. Just now I got a message. And I got a text. I was like, I'm in this podcast. Can't wait to get off of this podcast
To go see.
to get on this phone call. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we want to come check you out. Come see. I think we're ready. I said, oh man, this is crazy. Cause I already seen this day
Really?
2 years ago. I seen this day 2 years ago. And so, of course, they say yes, they fully committed. I love people that bet on them. Because I spend a lot of time on people, brand and coaching and mental. Because
Yes.
I got to get your mind right
Yeah.
for this. I think in military, they got to get your mind right
It's
before
brainwashing.
y'all start going in here. And so they're so coachable. I mean, just crazy. And then I'm
Hold
designing.
on, don't say that too loud because the men in our lives might take that for another way.
Girl,
like
bye.
they're trainable.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have no complaints. I love them. And I'm designing this logo. And I probably went through like 7 designs. And I was just like, no, that ain't it. I can't sleep until I see it.
Yeah.
I can't sleep until I see it. And then, boom, I seen it. And it still wasn't ready. And I said, it's missing something. And I knew, I said, okay, if they just see this YBME by itself, they're going to ask,
What does it
What
mean?
What does
does
that
it
stand
stand
for?
and then I was thinking about all the stories that y'all
Yeah.
told me about.
Yeah.
You've been
Yes.
pregnant, early teenage, military, all the stuff
college.
that you're going through, and how y'all be downstairs like nothing ever happened, but y'all like, hey,
That's right.
And I was like, man, they are the pillar of breakthroughs. They're like the Twin Towers of breakthroughs.
But you know what, Dream, and to feedback on that part too, breakthroughs, and what we've noticed, and with anyone that's in our circle, or our circle is very small, but anyone that's near, we want to celebrate the smallest breakthrough because
Yeah.
to the biggest one. And when we talk about this, like we just went down memory lane for a little bit right here. I'm just like, sheesh, and I know you're just doing the timeline, but damn, girl, we
Yeah.
here,
That's how y'all got here, though.
we here.
No, listen. That's why I can't wait till God blesses me to where. Shout out to in Mansfield. I heard that Tyler Perry is moving, or somebody's moving like a movie theater
Oh, nice.
set up where you can do production
studio?
for
Oh,
movies.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Like I'm definitely going to be a film producer. I'm definitely going to do short films.
I think the Mans has something to do with that. Tamala, David Mann.
definitely got
They
some. Yeah,
have to do something.
because I had this creative, and I know I'm very. I think who asked me. You asked me. You was like, Dream, when you was doing that podcast the other day. How did you get the energy every time for the next take?
Yeah.
I couldn't answer you then, but I had to think about it.
Mm.
And here's my answer.
Okay.
I really care about the person on the other side of this lens.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
I really do.
I love it.
I don't want to let them down. I could be tired. I
Yeah.
could be out of there.
Yeah.
But there's somebody on the other side of this lens
That needs
that
to hear
need
this.
this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not fair that they're spending their time with me
Yeah.
and I don't give them my 100.
That's right.
And that's where I get it from.
Love it.
And so for when the people are listening for this podcast, because this podcast is going to heal and help a lot of people, in my
Yeah.
belief.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to miss how y'all got here
Yeah.
in a short version,
Yeah.
right? Because in this podcast, we're going to go through different breakthroughs.
Yeah.
You know, I think we got
Specific.
segments coming up, you know,
Yeah.
and I don't want nobody to miss how you qualify
That's right.
to be the breakthrough twins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you have plenty of, military, mother, marriage, conquering, master degrees, volleyball.
Yeah.
Gee, you are accomplished. You are a pillar. You are an example. I mean, so many people can look at you and just be like, yo, I want to be like G.
What's
Because
funny, we're
they
saying,
went there. There's a single mom.
yeah.
Somebody got pregnant. They're going through school. They're trying to figure it out. But you kept going.
It's funny that, thank you for saying that. Fee was mentioning how she decided to kind of just take a step back from the officer role and realize she would rather be a backbone or take a different role, right?
Right.
Instead of being in full leadership.
Yeah.
It's crazy because once I was determined, like I wanted to get my doctoral degree, like I just wanted to keep going
Right.
because I wanted to feel quote unquote accomplished.
Yes.
And so when people would say, well, what's your ideal job? And I'm like, I want to work with humanitarian efforts in just a different world, third world countries. I knew I wanted to help people. I even wanted to run for mayor in Jackson, Mississippi. That's
Wow.
why I pursued my master's
Wow.
in public administration because I didn't want to
Wow.
go to law school.
Wow.
Everybody was running. I'm like, well, shit, I'll run. I look like a other. I'm not white or black.
Yeah.
I'm actually in the middle.
Yeah.
But I wish I could have spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
I think that was
when
the
y'all
only thing
told
I
me y'all
could-
didn't speak Spanish, I was like, yo, y'all so much like me.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we know a little bit.
Poquito.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't speak Spanish too. But I remember when I went to Mexico for the first time, they walked up to me speaking. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, I know.
I don't know.
I just play dumb.
But for people listening to this podcast,
Yeah.
you made it.
I made, and I was, let me just say, so when she talks about the leadership, I wanted to accomplish all these acclimates
Yeah.
to justify that I was worthy enough, right? So one of the other roles or titles that I was determined to achieve was I want to be an executive. I don't care what executive, what company. I want to be a decision maker. I want to be on the top of the total pole. I don't want to be at the bottom anymore. I just want to be up there with them, right? Because in my mind, I had made it. When I moved here in 2012, I was blessed to have a great, amazing job as a production manager. I was provided amazing opportunities. Every 2 years, I would ask for a raise and I would get it. And I'm not talking about $2,000-$3,000. I'm talking about $5,000, $10,000 raises. I would get these raises. I had people asking me, can I see your template on how you're... I had people asking me in the accounting department, can I see your template? So for me, those were small breakthroughs for me that I was the only minority
Right.
female on the management team, but yet I still wanted to climb up, right? I think over time, I became the voice for the production teams, right? I got them raises. I created I showed that there was more value of them to the company. They're people, but they're the last people to touch this. They put a lot of work in the things that they're touching.
Yeah.
And so for me, I think there was a turning point, and that's why I left, because I had an opportunity to be my own boss. And when I was in this role, I was scared to leave because I felt like nobody would take care of them like I did. And so when you constantly are putting people before you, sometimes that can be so overwhelming. And when you're praying like, God, like, okay, I'm serving your people. I'm helping them. And it can be selfish to ask, what about me? Right. Because you're doing the work, you're helping people, but you still don't feel full
Yeah.
of that spirit. Right. And I think I got to a place where I was empty. My tank was empty. As much as I wanted to still protect people, I was feeling lost. I no longer wanted it. My drive wasn't there anymore. It was just time to go.
Yeah.
And so when the opportunity came up where I could work for myself, as scary as it was, because I'm leaping off faith. I have no idea how this is going to work out. And so it goes back to my spiritual I learned my spiritual breakthrough not as young as Fee, later on in my adulthood.
Yeah. After
But-
lifed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's been small things. I'm not going to say small things because he's done amazing things in my life. But as far as, because I sometimes feel like I'm always reestablishing my relationship. And now that I'm older in the space I'm today, if I would have just kept going, but everything happens for a reason,
Absolutely.
right? And so I'm in a special place now that I want to forgive. I have forgiven. My faith is amazing. I ask God in the morning, thank you, Lord, for just waking me up.
Yeah.
Everything is thankful. I'm thanking him for everything.
Yeah.
Where before you tend to become complacent, like, you're entitled to
Take
it.
things
Yeah.
for granted.
Yeah, but I thank him because he has moved so many mountains
Oh, yeah.
in such a short period
For
of
sure.
time. And I will, if I can just share with the world your faith.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
BK
powerful.
Real Estate over
Yeah,
here.
let's go.
Oh
Let's
yeah, I
go.
got my
Let's go.
son.
Got the real estate
No,
license?
but I
Yeah.
guess I was just going back to when you decide that, you know what, that's not for me.
Yeah.
You've got to put it in God's hands, and He will help you figure that
I
out.
love it. And here's a crazy thing. And as a movie producer in my mind, as I produce y'all stuff, because I'm creating I'm painting, I can see. So you want to see the end and then go back. And I'll just give you a preview. I think I told Fee, and I was just like, yo, this is going to be crazy.
Yeah, you said it was a lot.
It was a lot.
For,
It was big. But I'll tell you this. I'll just leave it like
Do
this.
you see us leading a ministry?
I'm going to just say this.
I'd love to do something.
Anytime you have synchronization for anything that's representing sisterhood, multiplication by the droves happen. And you two will be one of the biggest pillars of sisterhood that anybody's ever seen before.
Wow.
Because y'all kept God first. And that was what I seen 2 years ago. I seen it. I say, yo, they still twinning. This is very rare. You don't see Bob and Rob still twinning. You don't see Jack and Job. You don't see it. And the fact that y'all just such best friends and y'all just so cool and just y'all be finishing each other's sentence. It'd be funny. When I talk to y'all, I'll be like, yep, okay, Brett, yeah. I understand how it goes now.
Can you imagine our kids going back and forth?
It's so
wait,
funny.
what?
It is so natural for y'all.
Yeah.
Like, you'll literally just let her, yeah, she's finishing my sentence right now. And I love it. So we definitely got to say goodbye to everybody, but we definitely got an episode coming up, a very special episode for you guys, so stay tuned. But before we go, I have to get you to speak life into your children. And I got to go with you first, G. Tell your children something that you just need to let them know they can look at this video from now to infinity. They can always look at this video and say, yo, mama gave it to me right then and there. You know what I'm saying? If you don't mind, this is your time to shine and just be selfish for you and your children.
So I'm going to start off with my young one, Tristan. The other day we talked about what G stood for when we were listening to the video. We said, Mommy said greatness, and you laughed because you said that's you. You're absolutely right. You are amazing. You are so awesome. I just look forward to hearing your laugh, your smile, and your hugs. You are destined to do great things, and I know you are, whether it's being an entrepreneur, whether it's an athlete, but I know the most important thing that as such a young person that you have God in your life, and I love it when you talk to your friends about that. Taz, my beautiful, beautiful queen, my daughter, and Kamora, my grandbaby, you are an amazing daughter, mother, sister. You have niece. You have shown me so much about yourself as being such a strong, creative, a big nurturer. And I told you that one day there's going to come a time where you're going to have to be the mold and keep this family together. And I know you will. I'm so proud of you, especially being in the military, serving and protecting our country, making the sacrifice that you do. When I know when you don't want to, but you inspire me to be a better person. And I love you for that. Tajay.
most recently, I feel like God has put young men in my life because of our strange relationship. I'm sorry, y'all. You're fine, baby. Take your time. And we've gone through so much. I can reflect on you being such a happy, just such a funny kid. You always talked about money. You wanted to be a big gamer. You wanted to go work for Samsung, PlayStation, one of those, and be a gaming. What was it? A gaming hacker or something like black market, something, Tajay. And you were on your way, and just somewhere life just happened for you. Although we are not talking, I miss you. I love you. And I know God will put us together again under the same roof. And when I do see you, I just want to hug you so tight. Just yesterday, out dinner, I see this lady and her son at a table just laughing and just having a conversation. And I just look forward to where me and you can do that again. Sorry, y'all.
That's what's up.
I do.
All right, G. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I do too.
And we definitely speak all that into existence. That's dope.
All of it.
All right, Fee, it's your turn. To the babies.
Love you guys.
And there you have it. YBME Podcast.
Girl, I know. I'm sorry. That was emotional.
No, girl. You know, I feel it. I feel it all, Mama. And so,
But we said this was going to be therapy, not just for our viewers, but that's what this is about. Our story.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, there's pain.
Yeah.
There's happiness. There's joy.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, and you already know, involves our kids. Mm-hmm. It's relationships.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell my nieces and my nephew.
Yeah.
How special they are.
I'll start with Destiny. Destiny, baby girl, your mom over here doing her podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, I just want to say again, love, I love you, love you, love you. So proud of you. You know, when you turned at 18, you made that decision out of I don't know where to go straight to New York. I thought I had did something wrong. And you were trying to get so far from me. But little did I know that distance was going to create the most courageous, big dreamer, full of so much vision and creative strength. I probably already said that, but there's no two stories. There's no two kids. I've never met anyone like you. Your visions are just beyond me. And one thing I've always told you is that you keep dreaming because it's gonna happen. And I'm your number one supporter. So whatever you got my heart. You're mine. But I'm just so proud of you. You know, when stuff gets tough, you do have your resets, baby, because we all do. But my goodness, for me to see you get back out there and get back on that grind the way you do, I'm just so proud of you. I'm just so proud of you. Loss of words, you know, Nana and I talk about it. We're just, my goodness, you're strong. You're stronger than I thought you were. And I guess you get it from your mama. But love you, mama. Jordan Lene, my little middle child. Jordan, my goodness, you were the sweetest little girl. I still think about that something cuppy cake you guys used to sing in Germany. And your stylish clothes, girl, you knew how to dress. You liked to create, like you used to create your clothes out of material. I mean, you two are just, I have a family full of creative people, just creative souls. But you're so sweet, love. You're so gentle when it comes to me. You're soft-spoken. I know you're connected to your papa. I'm so proud of you. You know, sheesh, you moved out. I don't even think you were 18. You were just there. And you're moving. You're making boss moves. You're an amazing soul, and I'm so thankful to be able to be called your mommy. God knew what he was doing when he blessed me with you. You saved me from a lot of things. and the visions I got to love myself, to remove myself from bad situations. I love you. I love you so much because you were the one that, so gentle, and I had to make some decisions, and that was to leave a situation that was not good for either of us, me, your sister, and you. And so I just want to say, when I look at you, I was finding the strength back then to make moves, and just your gentle soul. So thank you for loving me as much as you do. I know you love me. You have no choice. And Xavier, I'm gonna have to tag back onto Jordan, because when you were in my stomach, Jordan used to lay next to me all the time, like she's mommy number 2. And so Xavier, God knew what he was doing, baby, by blessing me. I'm telling you, I claimed that I would have a baby boy before I knew I was having a baby boy. And I say, the joy you have brought me and your sisters, there's no amount of money that can pay for that. But we love your creative, what is it? You draw your drawings, your stories, your just your imagination is out this world. I mean, the music you make with your sisters, the YouTube videos you make on your own. My goodness, happy kid. And you always keep me smiling. And you can sense that. Like, you will come to me and say, Mommy, I need a hug. So I appreciate you. I love you. I miss you. I know you're with your daddy right now, but I miss you. I'll see you soon. But to all 3 of y'all, man, my goodness, thank you, Lord, for blessing me with these 3 beautiful souls. Sorry. I love you guys.
And this is where we're going to end this segment, as the mommies get their emotions together, and you will probably get your emotions together. I just want to shout out to all mothers out there in the world, all fathers out there in the world as well, and every single person that has ever went through a breakthrough. We want to hear about your breakthrough. Definitely like, share, and subscribe on everything in the segment right here. We'll show you where to get in contact with the YBME family, and definitely make your breakthrough move everything.
Yes.
And we out. One time for Fee. One time for G.
Yay.
And your brother over at Dream Motivates. And congratulations on completing your first episode of the YBME Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. We out here, y'all.
Yes.
Let's go.